speaking of Cam Newton, let's
boy.
go back. We can't do a Panthers pod without speaking about Cam Newton. So one thing I want to talk about, I want to talk about his overall health and the way he's been treated by the organization as well as the fans. I just want to kind of get some of you guys' perspective. So I saw a tweet the other day from Cal Bailey from WFNZ, and he updated his Twitter speaking on every starting left tackle that Cam Newton has had since 2013. And I'm going to run out some of these names, okay? So you had Jordan Gross, you had Byron Bell, you got Michael Orr, you got Mike Rimmers, you got Matt Khalil, who's in the process of getting benched right now. But another conversation, Chris Clark, and you had Daryl Williams.
I just had nightmares just now.
Also, keep in mind that in 2013, his receivers were Steve Smith, Brandon LaFell, and Ted Ginn. And the organization rewarded him by taking away every receiver that had ever made a catch in 2013, and he went into the next season with the rookie Kevin Benjamin, Jericho Cotchery, Brent Burson, and Philly Brown. So how has a 3-time Pro Bowler, NFL MVP, an
Rookie
offensive MVP, Rookie of the Year, he's number one in the team in passing yards, passing touchdowns. He has a better completion percentage in Panthers history than Jake Delhomme. He has a better interception percentage or interception rate than Jake Delhomme. How does a player of his caliber get treated the way he has been treated by not only the fan base, the organization itself?
And you forgot one. He's had 3 different coordinators.
And he's had 3 different offensive coordinators.
I'll speak to the organization first. I don't think it's for lack of trying. I think it's for lack of not really knowing how to get the best out of him. Mm-hmm. One thing you got to consider, his rookie year, he had Rob Chizitsky as his offensive coordinator, who was pretty good at his job. Now, a lot of people criticize Chud because his offense didn't really jive with what a defense is trying to do because it was a quick strike offense. A lot of people would say, hey, the defense is on the field too much, but that's another story for another day. Can't put up some pretty big numbers with Chud. But just like you said, all those receivers under Chud's system, they took him away.
They ate.
And then we get Mike Shula, whole different set of receivers, whole entirely different offense, polar opposites. We go to the Super Bowl with it somehow, despite Shula. They take all his receivers away again. When they finally start putting some pieces around him, like some like the Christian McCaffreys and some speed guys around him, TJ Watt ruins Cam Newton's progression, his shoulder, his arm, whatever. And then all of a sudden, everybody forgets about it.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words. Because I just, people when I say people, mainly fans and sports media, have some very short memories.
Yeah.
And those short memories, it comes across as just flat out disrespect, man. It really does. And, you know, there's a lot of people say, oh, man, we're tired of making excuses for Cam Newton. These are not excuses, people. These are facts. Yeah. We're not making this up. So I'm at a loss, dude.
What you got, Rodney?
So, coming in, Cam Newton threw for 4,000 yards.
With no offseason.
No training camp. Older Steve Smith. 2 tight end sets with Olsen and Shockey. Threw for 4,000 yards.
And then they just...
And then Ron Rivera's like, nah, we need to go more conservative. We don't trust you throwing as much. So we're going to just hand the ball off and let you run and ruin your career. That's what happened. You use him as a running back. You're going to have a running back career.
I have never seen the zone read offense get used as much in the NFL as I did when Cam Newton and Mike Shula were together as quarterback and offensive coordinator.
And the crazy thing is people say, oh, he can't throw. You don't throw for 4,000 yards and can't throw.
Can't throw.
What is it? One of 2 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL to throw for 3,000 yards every season for their first 8 seasons in the NFL. One of 2 quarterbacks to do it. No, you're good.
You're good.
No, I was going to say, I think what throws people off about Cam Newton, and I'm more so talking about Cam Newton before the shoulder, is that, yes, he'll miss some throws that'll make you scratch your head. I think we all know that. But what people don't mention enough, he will also make some throws that you'll say,
Oh my
there's
God.
nobody else in the NFL who can make that throw. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
But we all know once the narrative gets rolling, you get what I'm saying? People are going to hop on the bandwagon, and here we are.
Cam Newton, when he was in college, I wasn't a fan because he beat Clemson. I'm a Clemson guy.
We know, man.
But there was a narrative of Cam Newton. He's going to fail. Running quarterbacks don't succeed. The people in the fan base wanted Blaine Gabbert. They wanted Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck didn't want to be here. Cam came here and turned the whole program around.
He made us relevant.
He made us relevant. Like he was the face of the Carolina Panthers. I know Luke is popular, but Cam is the driving force. The quarterback is always the driving force. Sorry, Cam haters, but he was the driving force. And we hold Cam to things that he did in college. Yeah, he stole a laptop. That was in college. He has become a model citizen since then. And I think a lot of the hate towards him is because they never thought he would succeed. And so he proved all the doubters wrong. And now that he's hurt and his performance is not up to par, people are now piling on. See, I told you so, but you're like 9 years too late.
Right.
And I'm gonna use some coded language here. I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask this question. So, with the overreaction that we're seeing today after the Cardinals lost to our Panthers, with everyone saying Cam Newton is done, getting him out of here, we have a new quarterback, we have a new sheriff in town. How much do you guys think that is as far as a representation of where we geographically are located at? How much you guys think that's playing a part in it?
To be honest with you, in my opinion, geography ain't got nothing to do with anything, man. America likes its
Country music.
Yeah.
no, F that. America likes its black quarterback in the modes of like a Russell Wilson. Don't say too much. Don't overtly have swag or anything like that. Don't become yourself. Your hair needs to be in check. You don't look like Brett Favre did in his Wrangler jeans. You don't compose yourself like Troy Aikman did. And so Cam goes against. He's the anti what we've seen from a quarterback the whole time, and it just pissed people off that he's had so much success. And so geography ain't got to do nothing with anything. I mean, because America's a whole. Like, think about this. Like 30, 40, 35 years ago, there was an announcer saying that he didn't think black quarterbacks could succeed because they didn't have the intellectual capacity.
Yeah.
That was in my lifetime.
Right. Relatively short time.
That was I was a baby. That was in my lifetime.
Right. Right.
And so people like that are still alive and they had kids and stuff like that and it passed it down. And so it's sadly it's never going to change.
And it's funny you say that because you say that this country wants their quarterbacks in a certain way, more specifically their black quarterbacks. And when I look at Deshaun Watson, and when I look at Patrick Mahomes, and I look at Jackson up in Baltimore, and I'm like, these quarterbacks are the future. Everybody loves them, no matter who you are, no matter what team you root for. Everybody loves them. But as soon as, if one of them decides to take a stand on some sort of issue, if they decide to start speaking out on race-related topics, if they decide to start dressing like a Cam Newton, then all of a sudden they're gonna end up becoming a mediocre quarterback. Yeah. And I just think it sucks that I even have that thought process. But every time I see them,
it's warranted.
That's what I think.
I mean, before this year, Lamar Jackson had that mediocre quarterback label. He's a running back. Mm-hmm. And so he had to go out and prove himself.
They were trying to make him a wide receiver.
Yeah, they're wide receiver. And then, like, you look at somebody like a Josh Allen, he was terrible last year. He's gotten better this year, but he was afforded that opportunity without as much scrutiny to become better.
Yeah.
My favorite rapper once said, "People fear what they can't understand." And I think Cam Newton, for a lot of people, they can't understand how this brash, confident quarterback has brushed off every negative thing everybody has ever said about him. He's been under the smallest of microscopes since he's been here. He can't have a bad day. He can't pout. He can't be mad. He can't be upset. He can't do anything without, he can't put on that kind of shirt. He can't put on his hat. All this man wants to do is live his life and be who he is. And he has unapologetically been who he is. He said some things that I don't agree with. He's done some things that he should be held accountable for. But let me remind you, Cam Newton, since the laptop, whatever, something I don't even care about anymore, Cam Newton has not been arrested. There is no domestic violence situation with Cam Newton. There is no scandal with Cam Newton. What are we really mad at? What has he done that's been so terrible that when I say we, not really we, but what is it that people really truly don't like about the guy? Can anybody give me something?
I don't have an answer.